involved. So that's the events and other things on Siren this week. A new little feature now that we're going to include in the show, so we'll see how it goes, is we're going to do a little kind of on-air blog of what's been going on in the last 7 days, what we have been doing here at the university in the last 7 days.
Because other than just doing this, of course, we are actually students and we actually learn stuff.
And we thought it'd be a good idea to remind people of that and keep people up to date with what's going on in American studies, especially seeing as it's going to be no more. We thought it's important to
document the last days of American studies. Oh, that sounds quite apocalyptic.
So any volunteers to go first? Anything you've particularly enjoyed from university this week?
I'll go first. I was saying last Friday, I think, me and Ben have a module in third year which is called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's a very interesting, probably one of my favourites actually that I've taken at all so far these last 3 years. And we had a lecture with our good friend and producer, I think Alex Lefchuk, and we had a lecture on The Matrix and the film Dune, and looking at similarities and differences and what they meant, in relationship to the rest of sort of what was going on at the time that they were produced, and different thoughts in religion and ecology and all that sort of fun stuff. So it was a really good lecture.
That sounds so cool.
It does sound
you got all that to look forward to.
I love that moment. I love that moment when you're in a serious lecture and someone brings up something like The Matrix that you love, and you just
that was
it
the really
just
cool
piques
thing
your
about
interest,
it.
doesn't it? So.
Exactly. Well, most of it was funny because first of all, it was Alex asked if anyone had seen Dune. I think one person put their hand up, and then who's seen The Matrix? Everyone bar one. Everyone put their hand up. So that was it was really good, especially since Matrix is always one of my favourite films of all time.
I remember I went to the second Matrix Reloaded the first night I opened at the Odeon in Lincoln, and it was just full of sci-fi. I don't want to say the words nerds and geeks because that's a bit harsh, but
awesome
it was,
people.
Yeah, they
people
were just,
like you.
like me, I was there.
You were there.
But no, I was a bit more sort of casual about it. There was some hardcore.
Dressing up for movie premieres, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean.
But there were some hardcore Matrix fans. You can imagine
in the big coats and the glasses and carrying red and blue pills and sort of going around speaking like Morpheus.
Basically.
So that was a really really good lecture, and I think we're back with Catherine next week. Not sure what we're going to be doing, but something I'm sure as exciting to report on. So what about you, Ben? What's the lecture in the last week that you've enjoyed?
Well,
if any.
Are you implying that I don't attend classes? I do.
Not at all, Ben. Not at all.
I'd like to point out I attend many a class. I've been they all sort of merge into one. To be honest,
one
really long lecture, intermittently interspersed with writing paragraphs for a dissertation. So, I suppose we had a lecture with Finn the other week about McCarthyism and in Hollywood, sort of communism. Like
because you do the Cold War, don't you? Module, which I don't do.
Yeah, sort of talking about how Senator McCarthy basically gained a very large amount of power by claiming to have a list of people who he believed were communist, and then everybody was sort of going, what if I'm accidentally on that list, and just sort of letting him do just about whatever he wanted,
because they feared
because they scared that he might have been accidentally put on the list. They might have accidentally been put on the list.
So a lot of propaganda and power play involved.
The number of names he claimed were on the list did sort of increase every time he gave a speech. So it was. I'm not sure the list ever actually been seen. So it might have all been
just a lot of fear.
I think some of them have been released, but they get released over a certain amount of time.
Official secrets?
Yeah, I think archives and stuff. But I know that the one that was released, because like Ronald Reagan put together a list of people that he believed were communists inside the Screen Actors Guild when he was the president. That was released shortly after he died, I think.
Yeah, we did a thing with Frank Sinatra. Was it Frank Sinatra? No, it wasn't Frank Sinatra. It was Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah,
doing a he just released an article off his own back entitled "I'm No Communist," which is a little bit sort of you've not been. Nobody's ever actually claimed that you were. So why are you now saying it? But not that I'm saying that Humphrey Bogart was a communist. Of course. I don't want to get in any sort of legal battle with anybody.
Interesting.
Anything, Chloe, this week that you've particularly enjoyed from?
Well, in Finn's seminars of Atlantic Crossings, we've been looking at a few films. A Matter of Life and Death, Way to the Stars, and A Canterbury Tale. They're all quite old, 1940s-ish type of films. But basically looking at like all the elements in it to do with the American-English relationship during war and stuff. And there was a scene in, I think it's Way to the Stars, which I found quite interesting, which was basically like all the Americans outside playing baseball, being really like loud and everything, and then the two Englishmen stood watching and then just going, should we go get some tea?
The reserved Englishman.
Walk inside,
always.
yes, reserved Englishman. And then in the Canterbury Tale, there's a scene of an American and an Englishman basically like comparing countries and saying, "Oh, my rivers are bigger than yours. Like we've got the Mississippi, and my blackberries are bigger than yours, and all that kind of thing." And
When you say BlackBerry, I mean
the fruit. Yeah. This is
Like,
1940.
we could have a modern
Yeah,
version.
this is what they do
yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, my iPhone is bigger than your BlackBerry.
Yeah, quite interesting stuff. I'm enjoying it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we did that. We did that
Yeah, I can
same
remember. I
one in
watched,
first year.
Everyone
Way
does
to
the first
Stars.
thing. Same thing in first year.
Jodie, I know you're not at university, but anything you've come across this week that relates to American studies?
Well, I did watch the film Drive on the way home on the flight
How was
back.
that?
Ryan Gosling.
How was it? 'Cause
I
I've
was
heard
quite
a
surprised
lot about
because
it.
I know there were a lot of people saying that it didn't get any kind of Oscar nods or Golden Globes
any
or
awards
anything,
or-
any awards, anything like that. I was quite shocked actually. It was quite violent, and I wasn't really expecting that. But
especially when you're in your little seat with your little screen watching the film, you know, and you're just like, ugh.
yeah. So
Scaring the kid that's sat next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a bit awkward.
So no, it's always good to catch up on American films. So
Right, I went and saw The Descendants last week,
Oh,
actually,
you
I really
mentioned,
want to see
yes.
that.
which was a obviously one of the Oscar nominations, and it was pretty good. It was quite slow. It's not, you know, the most action-packed film of the bunch, but it was a nice little film actually. And if you just want to, you know, watch some, you know, if you don't want to watch something too heavy or you have to think about it too much, then I would say go and see it.
There's I went to see The Grey.
Of
which
course.
It was
Shocking.
It was not
No.
not great. It seemed to be just a platform for Liam Neeson to run around and be sort of manly and kill
right.
stuff.
Isn't it the same as The Unknown? It's just like
Yeah, a
Taken,
little bit.
but a bit different.
Taken.
Liam Neeson just acting cool again.
Yeah.
Always just
Speaking
Liam
of
Neeson
Taken,
being
they
awesome.
are apparently making a Taken 2. I'm not
don't
quite sure
know.
how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Takes
Is
his
she
mum.
gonna-
taken to
Like-
where?
Taken
is
to
she-
where?
Is she going to get? Is his daughter going to get taken again? Because that's just
Bad
lax
luck.
on
I
her
know.
part.
Holly Valance of Ducks, I remember they go into their house at the end. That's my...
One thing.
That's
from
your
Taken.
thing.
I actually really enjoyed Taken. I thought that was a really good movie. I want to see Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
That looks really good.
Yes.
Very good. And
Yeah.
but I think tomorrow I'm going to see The Woman in Black,
Mm.
which will terrify me because I hate films like that. So
I'm going to see it on Saturday. So
Oh.
I'm
looking
avoiding it
forward
solely
to
off the
it.
basis
Definitely.
that I hate films like that.
I'm going
You
to
ju-
see Warhorse tomorrow.
oh, you will cry. I haven't seen it, but
I've
you
already
will
seen
cry.
the theatre ones.
Oh,
I
right.
know what will happen.
Did you cry during that?
No.
Oh. If you don't, you have a heart of steel.
I really do.
Myself, we had an interesting lecture on 60s America, which I know we were talking about with your dissertation, Emily, weren't we? With some, we were
some
talking
of the
about
things
the
that was
riots
going
and sort
on
of the
and-
counterculture and how.
Exactly.
But we were talking about, again, when you're talking about a subject and something comes up that piques your interest, we started talking about Mad Men, and that really interested because it's one of my favourite things on TV. It's
Mad
back
Men's
for its
great.
fifth season at the end of March.
God, it's been on for 5 seasons already.
Well, it's fifth season. Sorry, starts in March. But it's just, I think it's a great thing to watch if you're all interested in any aspect of 60s America. Even from an academic point of view, it's not just a I don't know what the word is. It's not like a loose drama. I mean, it's representation of
into-
history and the social issues that were around are really very
It's
interesting.
a bit like, say, Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
And so, actually, speaking of TV shows quickly, there's one thing I've watched. It's not an American show, unfortunately. It's set in Canada, but it's, you know, it has relevancies. It's a brand new series. It's been on. It's finished. It's only has 6 episodes. It's called Bomb Girls, and it's about the ladies of the 1940s, World War II, who go and work in the munitions factories. So sort of like the the riveter. What's her name?
Don't know, sorry.
Can't remember the first name, but it's the, you know, that sort of whole when, you know, women got to get out of the house for the first time and they
Yeah.
could actually meet and mingle and, you know, without it being church or, you know, with their husbands and being sort of free for the first time, which obviously changed a lot. And even though it's a Canadian series, obviously the same thing was going on in America, and it's very good. I mean, if you finished, it's only 6 episodes long. and it's a good watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Sounds good.
And what was that called?
Bomb Girls.
Bomb
Okay.
Girls.
So there's some recommendations here from the American Dream Team.
Yes, if you want a TV show recommended, come to me. I get through them like nothing else.
We have just about reached the point where we'll hopefully be hearing from our guest interview this evening. So we'll have another little Valentine's
Rosie
song.
the Riveter.
Right there we go. And so when we come back, hopefully we'll be talking to Stephanie from Bunac. And, well, I was going to wait for you to make the pun, Emily, but just in case you've not thought about it, happy together there, the American Dream Team. We are happy together, aren't we, of course?
God, we're on fire tonight.
I'm sure you were waiting to make that joke. So. So yeah, this is the American Dream Team here on Siren 107.3 FM. We're with you for about the next 25 minutes or so until 7 o'clock. The last sort of quarter of our show. It's, again, gone too quickly. But as I said, we are now lucky to welcome Stephanie Bolton from Bunac. She's going to tell us about her experience. So with a bit of luck, hopefully she's there. Stephanie, can you hear us?
Hi, yes, loud and clear.
Oh, fantastic.
Yay, getting so much better at this,
Well, this is-
phone link thing.
Usually we make calls to America and we have some technical issues, but, so you're in the country, so...
Much
Yeah.
easier.
So, Stephanie, were you a student at the University of Lincoln?
Yes, I was. I graduated last year.
Fantastic. And you've worked on Siren as well?
Yeah, in my first year I was on the news team.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
So you know how we feel.
You know
there.
it well.
I do, yes. I miss the studio.
But of course, you've come to talk to us about your experiences in America. So I guess the first question is, what made you decide you wanted to go out there?
Okay. Well, I've always really liked America. I think, like your show's called, to have the American dream, don't you? And I'd really been interested in the summer camp side of America. I thought it was brilliant. So yeah, when I was old enough, which was about 2 years ago, I went on the summer camp program. Just because I was old enough, it was something that I'd always been interested in, and it gave me the opportunity to travel around America as well, which was something I was very keen on doing.
Definitely.
So you obviously went through Bunac. What made you decide to go with that company?
Well, I was looking at other companies, but then I had them on good recommendation from a friend who'd gone with them the year before. It's always good to have a good recommendation.
Always.
And also, they were the cheapest as well, and being a student, I wanted to spend as little money as possible.
Yeah. Great. So what does Bunac do? Does it just do Camp America, or, does it go into different sides of things?
No, we have our Summer Camp USA program, but we do work programs as well. So all over in America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and volunteer programs as well. So really whatever you're into.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's really good, yeah.
Because we never. Well, I know we have a meet. They're coming here, aren't they, soon?
They are. I believe, Stephanie, you are coming in next week, are you not, to Lincoln?
I am, yes. I'm at the Careers Fair on Wednesday and doing an evening presentation next Thursday as well.
Great. Thank you for reminding me about the Careers Fair. I do need to get myself over to that.
Yes, come and have a chat.
Definitely.
So whereabouts in America did you actually end up going then?
Okay, so when I worked at camp, I was in New York State. But then I did our Work America program, and this summer just gone. And I actually lived and worked in Manhattan, in the heart of New York.
Wow.
Yeah, which I could go on about forever because it was a fantastic experience.
Please do. Tell us.
What were you doing there, Stephanie?
I was working as a flight rep and doing office work as well. So my office was based in a hostel, and I lived in that hostel as well. And yeah,
Convenient.
Yes, it was very good. Simple out of bed in the morning, straight
Exactly.
at work. So I worked there, and then I'd spend like my evenings in Times Square, Union Square, trying out the restaurants and things. And
Just
it was
casually.
fantastic. Yeah, as you do.
As you do. Oh no, amazing. And so you
Yeah,
went on Camp America before you did that, like the year before,
2 years before,
Yeah.
I'd done summer camp.
and then you felt inspired to go back.
Yeah, I really did. I was looking for something a bit more career related because obviously summer camp's brilliant, but I didn't really want to work with children. So I thought I'll do something career related. Obviously, with an interest in travel, I thought I'll do like flight repping, it was really good. And obviously, when you're in America, your English accent gets you very far.
It
as well.
does.
So